up, YouTube? So today I wanted to do a little talk type thing. Today I wanted to talk about the 5 things I look for in a yo-yo string. 5 things. So we're just going to kind of do a little countdown of the 5 things that I like in yo-yo strings. Now, as sort of a disclaimer, I do use both cotton strings and polyester strings. I do not like nylon strings. That feels weird. I don't like it. Don't like them at all. Feels weird. Not a fan. Most of the reason I do this is because I like the sensation that yo-yoing is, so it's got to be satisfying to me. Nylon, no good. No, I don't like it. So, anybody ask in the comments, what do you think about these nylon strings? I don't like them. Yuck. Don't touch them. Don't want to touch them. Too plastic, slippy. No. No good. So, without further ado, the number one thing that I look for, the first thing that I look for is thickness. So I am used to playing these thick cotton strings, because this is what I played with as a kid. They come on Duncan yo-yos. I believe these are 8-strand or 10-strand cotton strings that come with the Duncan yo-yos. And these are the ones that come on either the Pro Z or the one that was actually on this is the one that came on the Butterfly XT. But the same thing comes on the regular Butterfly and the regular Duncan Imperial, and that's what I'm used to, is this thickness of string. It's very similar in thickness to Kitty Fat. See? Kitty Fat versus Duncan. So, that's kind of the thickness I'm going for. Now, there's certainly a ways that goes back and forth. I don't mind Kitty Normal, at least not fresh, but I feel like once it starts, like polyester string, once it starts to stretch out, it gets thinner. So the Kitty Normal, while it feels fine initially upon getting put on, or a string of that thinness, once it breaks in and kind of stretches just a hair, it feels like it's gonna cut my finger off. It's just too thin. So first thing I look for is thickness. I feel like Kitty Fat is a good level of thickness, and the regs that Zipline yo-yo strings put out, regs, yeah, that's the one. There's one of my colors. Ooh. Regs for Ziplines, which are basically the same thickness as the Kitty Fats for the most part. That's the right way to do it. Regs. Hell yeah. See? Pretty much same thickness. Anyway, this is antifreeze. Regs. So, thickness is the first thing that I look for in string. It's got to be the right thickness. If it's too thick, on the other hand, if in the bigger gap yo-yos it's not a big deal. But in some of the smaller gap yo-yos, a lot of the one drops, the gaps aren't as wide as like on the yo-yo factories are. Really thick strings can kind of snag up and kick the yo-yo back into your knuckles, and I don't like that. Nobody likes getting a yo-yo smacked against their knuckles. So I find that basically the Kitty Fat variety or the Zipline Regs thickness is just perfect to me. Just perfect. So thickness is the first thing I look for. The second thing I look for is stiffness in the string. So some strings are too soft, and if a string is too soft, I'm not that good at whip tricks or slack tricks or anything like that, but if a string is too soft, I can't whip it very well, I can't slack it very well, and I can't do it. A string that I think is too soft, Buddha string is a little too soft for me, for my liking. It's a little too thin, a little too soft. It's fine for like just going and doing, but for me, was just a little too thin, a little too soft. So as far as that's concerned, that and the Magic Yo-Yo string, I think it's the right thickness, but it's just a little too soft for me. It doesn't whip as well. It kind of just blows through the air, and there's just not enough there, So kind of, I guess, stiffness and weight, I guess, is kind of what I'm going for there. So I look for stiffness and weight. A fresh Kitty Fat is great. Is a great stiffness and weight, the fresh one. As it breaks in, it even kind of gets a little soft and starts to fray. But the first 15 or 20 minutes of a Kitty Fat is good. I like kitty fat for that reason, because the first 15 or 20 minutes is great, and you can get it pretty cheap in bulk. But so stiffness there is what I'm looking for. I'm gonna plug Zipline again because the stiffness is perfect. It's kind of like a smooth stiffness, so it's not gonna like rip your hands apart, but it retains its like stiffness. Like it doesn't get all frayed and unable to whip and stuff. So it retains like the stiffness and weight, but it's like also smooth at the same time. So that's kind of where I'm at with the Zipline strings, where I'm kind of falling into like, nope, this is the perfect string for me, because retains stiffness and weight, much like the first 20 or so minutes of a kitty string would be. So stiffness, weight, kind of a thing is the second thing I look for in a string. The third thing I look for in a string is colors. I like variety. I have a variety of different colored yo-yos, and I like to have different colors on different yo-yos. I've said this before, that on splash yo-yos, I like to have solid colored strings, or strings that aren't too busy. Solid colors are good, like maybe just the yellow and white of the antifreeze color. But solid colors are good on splash yo-yos. And then on solid color yo-yos, which I have a ton of, I like to have like multicolored string. So here's some Tainted Love. Or the other thing, Yo-Yo String Lab, while their string is just a hair too soft for me, the Type X comes in so many awesome colors. I really like what Yo-Yo String Lab does with that. So this is the Anne Connolly Paint Party, and this is Butane Flame. And I don't know. I think Yo-Yo String Lab, they really do some good colors too. So good colors and a variety of good colors. Kitty string is mostly all solid colors, which is fine. It's a bulk string, so I don't have any problem with that, with it just coming in solid colors. But I like to have kind of a variety of colors, intertwined, twisted colors. I think are great, and solid colors are good too. I just want a bunch of them. So when I'm looking for a string, the variety of color is kind of a big deal to me. Some strings I just haven't tried just because they only come in one color, or I would only buy maybe one pack and then never try it again because there's really only one color and I want a variety. So, I think a variety of colors is important, and I look for that when I'm looking to purchase strings or just, try out a new string. It's like, if I like this string, can I get it in other colors? If the answer is no, I may not even try it. So that's just me, but, I like a lot of different colors. Number 4, the fourth thing I look for is longevity. Now, there are strings, particularly the strings I feel like that come new with yo-yos. The Yo-Yo Factory strings, for one. The whatever the string comes with, the Duncans, and longevity is a big thing for me. So if a string only lasts me like 15 minutes or 20 minutes, that's just that's no good. If it like feels worn out and super frayed after 20 minutes of play, and I don't even play that hard. Like, I'm not like just destroying strings. My hands aren't that greasy. My hands are usually clean, and so if I can wear out a string or wear it to a point to where I'm not happy with it after about 20 or 30 minutes, I'm probably not going to be real excited to try that brand again, or I may not even use it if I know what string comes with those yo-yos the next time. So, for instance, Yo-Yo Factory string to me just doesn't last very long. So a lot of times when I get a new Yo-Yo Factory, I'll just open it from the bottom, pull the yo-yo out, close the box back up, and I don't even pull out the string or anything most of the time because it just doesn't. I know it's only going to be like 15 minutes worth of string, and I'm going to have to change it anyway. So I may as well just put something else on it to start out with, just to get a better feel of the yo-yo too, because I don't necessarily even like the string to begin with. So longevity for me is a big thing. So kitty string I think lasts a decent enough amount of time. After about 30 minutes, it's kind of broken in a little bit so that the slacks and the whips and stuff start to suffer a little. Maybe it doesn't hold tension as long, but at the same time, it's not like worn funny near like where the response pads would be. So I don't have to like change it because it's becoming like unstable or like the string's worn funny. So I like it for that kitty string. That, like I said, it comes in bulk, so bulk string is good, clearly. But for as longevity, it's not as great. yo-yo string, the yo-yo string lab Type X, I feel like it lasts a longer time. It kind of retains everything, but it's kind of like initial softness is just a little, like a hair too soft. Like I really like it new, and it kind of retains that for a pretty decent amount of time. But after about an hour's worth of play, it just gets really like kind of too. It softens up even more, and after it softens up even more, it's like, well, okay, I don't know if this plays so good anymore because it's so soft. I'm having trouble whipping it, having trouble and I'm still trying to learn that stuff too. So if a string makes it harder after it's broken in to do that for me, I'm kind of it turns me off a little bit. Again, gonna plug zipline strings because it seems like they never wear. They come out, when you put them on, they're perfect as far as whips and slacks and the tension and the longevity are concerned. But then, like 3, 4, 5, 6 hours of play later, it's like you just put it on. So, perfect when you put it on, perfect several hours later. So, as far as that's concerned, that's sort of the like perfect storm for me. It's like it's perfect. It's everything I want that to be, and it just does it. So, and then the final thing that I look for in string, and this is sort of the fifth thing. This is sort of like something that's not necessarily as important because it's string, but is value. So the two strings that I think are the best value for me are zipline strings because they last forever and they feel perfect for the longest time. So where one string, it might cost a little more to get some, but they will last. 5 of them will last you 5 times as long as 10 of anything else. So if you pay, what's he charge for? $5.50 for 5 of them or something like that shipped. That 5-pack at $5.50 will last you, as long or longer than a 10-pack of just about anything else. Hell, some of them, like that 5 would last you longer than 20 kitty strings. Absolutely. I mean, it would last longer than 20 kitty strings, and I'm not even kidding. So, for me, while the upfront cost is a little, seems like, wow, it's like $1 a string for the zipline strings. It's really like, it's really not bad because of how long the string is going to last you and how long it's going to retain its just perfect playability. The other thing that I think is a great value, I do think kitty string is a good value. I think at $20 for 100 packs shipped, and it comes in a ton of different colors. And sometimes you don't want to put it. Maybe you're not going to throw the yo-yo that much, or maybe it's a yo-yo that goes everywhere. The string might get dirty or whatever. You don't necessarily want to put expensive string on, or like an everyday cheap yo-yo or whatever that just gets thrown in a bag or whatever. I think this is perfect for that, and I think everybody should keep some bulk string on hand, because maybe you need to give somebody some string. Maybe you need to give them, oh, here, buddy, you need a string? No worries. Here, have a kitty string. And it's a great string. It's like, oh, man, this is good. This is perfect. And, that way you've got some to give out or put on daily carries or put on yo-yos that go out and might get dirty, or, your replay pros and what have you. And, it's around for that daily use. So I really think that, zipline and kitty strings kind of, for me, are sort of like the yin and yang of each other. Sort of like, your everyday bulk stuff that is super useful to have some of, and then your, super high-end, super long-lasting, super nice feeling stuff. So, so that's kind of the 5 things I look for in string. Good thickness, good stiffness, variety of colors, good longevity, and good value, whether it be because the string lasts a long time or because you get a ton of them for not that much and they play good. But anyway, guys, that's it for me today. Make sure you like and subscribe. Tell me down in the comments, what do you think? What are your favorite strings? Again, can't say enough good things about zipline strings, and been using the crap out of them a lot lately. So, huge shout out to them, but can't go wrong with some good tried and true kitty as well. So anyway, guys, like I said, tell me in the comments what you think. Make sure you like and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, guys. cheers to you. I'm not drinking anything right now, but cheers to you, and we will see you next time.